Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of The Crooked Chef. Tonight we're going to do something very simple, very basic. We're going to do hummus. Yes, I had that in it as well, hummus. And it's very simple. It just, all you need is like some garbanzo beans and garlic, a little bit of lemon. And then I decided to do it with roasted peppers today. Hummus is a wonderful thing. You can throw any type of thing you want into it. It's basically just pureed garbanzo beans, oil, and tahini. However, I could not find tahini at my local store, so I have sesame oil, which is basically, tahini is just basically just pureed sesame seed. You know, it's like a sesame peanut butter. So we're going to improvise. Now, first off, I'm starting with our crostini. You can use crackers, you can use whatever you want, but I instead decided to slice up a little bit of a baguette. So what we're going to do in our preheated oven is put a little olive oil on top of that, a nice little swirl, and throw it into our preheated oven of 425 degrees. Now, while that's cooking, yes, I said while, we're going to throw olive oil into a hot pan. Keep your pans hot and your knife sharp, and throw in our minced sweet red pepper. Now, some people prefer fire roasted, some people prefer other things, but you know, you can do this. So we're just going to let that cook down for a moment or two until the peppers become nice and soft. Oh, you gotta love that sizzle. Stir those around for a moment until they become nice and soft. Turn up the heat a little bit. And then we're going to add roughly 2 cans of garbanzo beans. I'm going to throw those in there like so. And stir, 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 stir. Now, all we want to do basically is to make these soft so we can mash them later. Now, you can make hummus in a blender or a NutriBullet or something like that. However, I'm doing it the old school style before, you know, God invented blenders. Because when you're out in the middle of the desert, you don't have blenders. You don't have electricity. So I'm going to try to do it the Bedouin style. So we just want to have those cooked down. Crank up the heat a little bit more so we can get these things nice and soft. And then while we're at it, you can add some spices. Basically what I like to go with is just a basic ground cumin. You want to use about, you know, tablespoon or teaspoon or so, or whatever your heart desires. Just something for flavor. And I think cumin is actually a very underrated spice to use. I mean, it's used in a lot of chilies, a lot of other ingredients, you know, stuff like that in Middle Eastern food, etc., etc. So we're just going to let that simmer down for a little bit. And basically all we're doing is trying to make the vegetables soft. That's all we're trying to do. This is not a stew. This is not something that you want to keep on the stove for hours and hours and hours on end. This is something very simple and very basic. And then while we're at it, we're going to take the juice of 1 lemon. And thank you, Mr. Keith Allen, for this wonderful knife. I named her Taj. And I love this thing. It's beautiful. So slice that in half. Ooh, look at that action. Love it, love it, love it. We're going to get the juice of 1 lemon. Like so. Oh, yes. Sorry, honey. You know, some people like to have the juicers, but I prefer to do it by hands because, well, I'm old school like that. Squeeze that out into there. Like so. Oops, got a little seed. There it goes, bye-bye. Stir up again. Ooh, I wish we had smell-o-vision. Yeah, I'm sorry for the lemon juice in the producer's eye. So we're going to let it sit here and boil and marinate and stir, stir, stir. And that's the thing you want to do. You want to stir it so the stuff on the bottom does not char while the stuff on the top is still cold. Alright. Let's test one really quick. Almost there. The cumin added a nice flavor, but however, I'm going to add some cracked ground pepper. And for me, like, the more pepper the better. I'm a pepper fanatic. I mean, not like chiles, you know, not like, you know, Carolina grocery for peppers, but I mean like pepper, like fresh ground pepper. Can't get enough of that. So, whilst this is going on, then we're going to add about 2 cloves of fresh chopped garlic. Toss that in there like so. And stir, 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 stir. Stir, 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 stir. Alright. Let's sample another bean. Very good. Now what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to pull this off the heat. Let it cool down for a sec. And again, since this is a dish that was made before the invention of blenders, I'm going to get a masher. And we're just going to go ahead and smush that down. Smush, smush, smush. I hope you like my sound effects, folks. And then we're going to emulsify a little bit more of our handy dandy olive oil. Now what you don't want to do is add the 1/4 cup of olive oil directly. You want to add just a little bit at a time. A squirt, smash. And the same thing happens when you are making this in a blender or something like that. You don't want to dump the oil in at the same time. There's a reason why blenders have that little cap on the top. It's so you can just like slowly drizzle the olive oil in to make like your Caesar dressing and stuff like that. A little shot. Some more smashing. So it becomes a nice consistency, like mashed potatoes is what you're looking for. A little more oil. Look at the hand skills he has, ladies and gentlemen. And always, as always, feel free to take a taste test as you are cooking, because you want to make sure it turns out right. Make sure it turns out correctly. Now this is going to be a little bit chunkier with the red peppers in it. I prefer not to have the red peppers pureed. I like to have like a little surprise in the bites and stuff like that. So let's grab a spoon. Yes, it said spoon. It's a Stewie Griffin impersonation. See? Very good. However, I do think it needs the other half of the lemon. So let me just pick these seeds out. Do-do-do. Another seed. Yeah, the other guys can have their juicers and stuff like that, but real chefs do it by hand. That should be a t-shirt right there. Chefs do it by hand. That can go both ways. So we're going to add some more of our lemon juice here. Like so. Alright. And then keep mashing, 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 mashing. And since I still think it's a little tiny bit more land, I'm going to add just a touch of salt. And then, now look, traditional hummus is made with tahini. Now what is tahini, you ask? Tahini is basically, like I said, is basically sesame seed butter. It's like peanut butter made out of sesame seeds. However, I could not find it, so instead we're using basic simple sesame oil. We're just going to put about a tablespoon in there because you want that sesame flavor. Open sesame. If anybody's read 1001 Arabian Nights, you know what I'm talking about. Open sesame. Ooh, already it smells so much better. All right. It's nice. Now the garbanzo beans are nice and smooth. You still have the red pepper chunks in there for a little bit of flavor. And now I'm going to check on the crostini. We're just going to pull this off the heat. Let that sit for a moment. Oh, and here we are. Crostinis. Perfect. If you want them a little darker, keep in the oven a little bit longer, but I think these are perfect personally. Set that down. And Taj, sorry. I love this knife, thank you. We're just going to rinse you off. Wipe you down. Thank you, Keith Allen. Oh, Excalibur. And put you back in your home. Ooh. All right, now we're going to let that cool down for a moment. Whip this into a bowl. And while this is cooling, we're going to take a little short break for promotional consideration and to pay some bills.
Today's episode of Crooked Chef has been brought to you by Patreon. With one small donation per month, you can help improve the quality of the show, our equipment, and even choose future dishes. $1 a month can go a long way. Thank you.
All right, and here we are with our hummus with crostini, handmade, and we'd like to have our tester come in and see what you think. Here comes the crooked wench.
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
So go ahead and try this. See what you think.
Smells amazing.
And the cool thing about hummus, guys, is like you don't need to eat it on crackers. You can use it as a spread for sandwiches. I'm sure you've gone to plenty of vegan restaurants or vegetarian restaurants where they use hummus as a spread for a sandwich. You can do that as well. And it's also just a great dip for chips, for crackers, whatever, or you can use it as a spread for a, alfalfa sprout sandwich. And she seems to be enjoying it. Anyhow, folks, this has been the Crooked Chef. Quick, short, and easy. And remember, keep your knives sharp and your pans hot.